Hello, welcome, and thank you for joining us. My name is Sam Stevie, and this is the Talking Roos, and we're going to bring you the news. There's going to be a bunch of UMKC communication students sitting right here telling you all about a topic that they find interesting. There's going to be a whole smorgasbord of topics, so stick around because you never know. You might learn something new.
Hello, my name is Mason Dredge.
I'm Colton Kruger.
And we're two boys that look like women. Today, we're going to talk about something really cool, robots. Colton, what do you think about robots? What do you think about the moral implications of human beings creating a sentient race?
You know, I feel as if that's a slightly loaded question, but as long as it gets me my package delivered in 2 days or less, I'm honestly okay with it. From all I've seen of robots, I think they'd be pretty cool. I want like a kind of Jetsons type thing, like, you know, like Rosie, it just kind of just like does all the things I'm too lazy to do myself, like, I don't know, fold clothes or like brush my teeth or something.
Right, or like a robot dog. I won't get a dog because I know I'll kill it, but if it's a robot and it can't die, I'm like, I don't know.
Well, if you forget to charge a robot dog, though.
Well,
like,
it's not dead, then I can just put a thing, I can just plug it into a wall and my dog's back.
You're right, you're right.
I can't plug a real dog into a wall, it's not going to come back.
What did your robot dog dream of? Would your robot dog dream of electric sheep?
I would hope so. But it can dream about whatever it wants. I can't control my dog.
What if you let your robot dog in a hot car, or you left him in like a wet car? Like, would that be animal cruelty?
Technically, but then we have to argue do robots have rights?
Do robots have rights?
I think they do.
I think they do. They should deserve it, you know? They put in a lot of hard work, a lot of effort.
If a robot can cry, a robot has rights, and I'd like to see a robot cry.
Wouldn't the robot cry in like short circuit? Would our robots be waterproof?
That's something we would have to think about. Water is everywhere.
When the robots inevitably rise up, do you think they'll be on our side or against us? Like, they can look back in the archives and they can be like, they can trace this interview and they'll be like, oh man, Colton and Mason were kind of cool guys. We should not slaughter them in the robot uprising.
If that's the case, future robots, I love you. You are very cool.
Robots are so cool. They're so cool.
Robots are the best. I wish I was R2-D2.
You ever thank the vending machine after it dispenses your snack?
Yeah, every time, because I was raised to be polite. I was not raised in a barn. Do you?
I do. I thank you know, you ever say like thank you to your phone, like it says something like you thank the vending machine, you thank like the automatic button for the door. Right. It just promotes good manners, and I think the robots know. Machine learning, the machine will remember this, and so I think it will have a positive outlook.
I agree.
When the robots rise up, who do you think will be at the mast? Like Zuckerberg, Bezos?
Vending machines.
Vending machines. Who is like chief vending machine conglomerate? Like who's the CEO? Will like the CEO of Pepsi like rise up above us with his vending machine army?
Probably Mr. Vending, but I don't know.
Big Vending?
Yeah, Big Vending.
We'd like to say that this episode of Roo News was not sponsored by Big Vending. This is an independent, student-run coalition.
And that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching Future Robots. I'm Mason Dredge.
I'm Colton Kruger.
And we're boys that look like women.
Hello and welcome to our show. My name is Jefferson Harwood.
And I'm Abigail Duree.
And today we're going to be talking about the importance of theater in education.
Yes, we are. It's a big topic, especially with what's going on in our schools nowadays. They're trying to boot out theater, I feel like, and all the arts.
Yeah, the arts budgets are getting cut like crazy.
Yeah, and that's insane just because without the arts program that I had at my high school, I would never be the person I am today. Like, I used to be so introverted. I didn't say a word to anyone. I was just this homeschool kid who was like pushed into high school, into a public high school, and I was just freaking out. And then I joined the theater department there. And it just kind of got me out of my shell.
Theater does. It gives you that confidence that you need to push boundaries, to do things that you used to be afraid of doing. And even if you're still afraid, you have the confidence and the ability to fake it.
Exactly.
Right?
Fake it till you make it.
Exactly.
That's what they always tell you. So just like, I remember the first show I was in, I didn't actually get a role in it at first. I was dating someone who was in the show, and they had someone drop out, and the theater teacher saw me in the theater waiting for them. And she came up and she was like, "Do you still want to be in the show?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, of course I do." And so that was my first role, and it really just kind of, I came into the process late, so I had to get off book really fast, and I had to get comfortable with who I was at that point. Yeah. And it just kind of forced you to take risks.
It does, yeah, and it forces you to kind of handle those curveballs that come your way, because like you said, you weren't originally in the show, you get thrown into the show, and that happens all the time in theater. We have to learn to deal with new things.
Well, if you audition for a season, you have to learn like 5 different shows all at once, and you have to keep those straight, so how do you do that is the question.
Right, and those are the type of skills that they teach you. They say, okay, here you're going to compartmentalize.
Exactly.
You're going to, work on memorization, all of this stuff that helps students excel not only in theater, but in life,
the outside world,
in
and
other
life,
classes they
take. Like, I definitely think theater has helped me in my everyday life just because I can remember things at the drop of a hat.
Yeah.
Like, I'll remember an event without having written it down or without having it in my phone or anything. But, it's kind of nice.
And two, I think theater discusses some of the more difficult topics that we as, 13, 14-year-olds don't know how to talk about.
Yes.
And so in that way, theater helps us to express ourselves, helps us to give a format to talk about those kind of things.
Definitely. There are so many shows out there that deal with so many different, risky topics. And as a high schooler, I didn't know what I was doing at that point, but theater helped me deal with it.
Well, I hope our discussion today has given you some opportunity to think about how you can support the arts, you can support the theater programs in your local schools. But that's all the time we have for today. I'm Jefferson Harwood.
And I'm Abigail Dury.
Have a great day.
See ya.
Hello, I'm Ethan Evans.
And I'm Amelia Romine.
Amelia, there's something that we have in common, with a lot of people our age, and that is that we both work in retail.
Ah, yes, retail, my favorite place.
So what kind of retail do you work in?
I sell clothes. I work at a thrift store, so that's the kind of retail I work in. What about you?
I work at a grocery store,
Okay.
the height of retail,
the height of
retail luxury. Might as well be Saks Fifth Avenue.
Oh my God. So what are some of what's your craziest story you would say about working in a grocery store?
Well, okay, so I work at the customer service counter, so
Yes.
I deal with the refunds, the returns. This older lady came in with a slice of peach pie she had half eaten, and she wanted to claim that she had found a tooth inside of it.
Oh my God.
She proceeded to open the pie container and dig around inside of the pie with her fingers, and then implored me to do the same. I said, I'm fine. I'll give you back the $3.50 for the slice of pie, and I sent her on her way. What about you?
Honestly, there's a lot of really weird people that come into a thrift store, but I think that my personal favorite was the guy that came in and asked what we sold, and I said, well, we sell men and women's clothes and accessories, and he was like, oh, well then I guess you won't take this, and pulled out from his bag, I honestly to this day do not know what it was. It looked like hospital supplies and possibly tubes attached to a latex bit, and I didn't even ask him what it was. But it was very silly, and no, we didn't buy it because I don't know who would want that.
Yeah, we had this lady once. She clearly was not totally home. I don't know what her deal was, but she would always come in with a cart full of reusable bags, never used them, would only buy 2 items at once. But she used to take a bath in our bathroom. She'd be in there for 30 minutes, take all the paper towels, leave water all over the floor. And then one day she came up to customer service and she said, are you the manager? And I was like, sort of. And she was like, I don't think I can shop here anymore. I said,
man.
okay, well, why? She said, I know that you are collaborating with the FBI in bounty hunters to apply sonic force through your speaker system onto my head, and it hurts me, so I can't shop here anymore. But she still shopped there every single day. Eventually she stopped showing up, don't know what happened to her. Wish her the best.
Maybe the FBI got her.
I know, the bounty hunters, they finally got her, yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for listening. This was our discussion of retail.
Hopefully you've had some similar experiences. I sure hope so. And we will see you next time. Thanks.
Hi, welcome back. I'm Delaney Dodge.
I'm Ben Monachino.
And today we're going to help you guys figure out exactly the steps that you need to take if you want to go into the police academy and be part of our police force coming up. Now, Ben, is it coming out of high school, going into college? What are some of the first things that you want to do, whether it's classes to take or just general things to get involved with our police force out there?
Ways you could do that is pretty easy. Going, when you're 21, you're able to go on ride-alongs, doing that, kind of making sure that's what you want to do. It's super easy. It's a lot of fun. I loved it.
You've been on a ride-along?
Oh, yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that so we can get them excited for that experience.
So it's a lot of fun. You meet a lot of good guys. You know, the cops you work with are pretty good. You see a lot of funny stuff, and that's kind of bad to say, but I saw I'm assuming they were on crack, but they were running naked and stuff like that. And it was jacked up. But
Yeah.
no, but it is a lot of fun, and getting that degree at criminal justice, like I did it here at UMKC, it's a lot of fun, very interesting. I would recommend it. Basically, when you get your degree, there's 3 lists when you get picked, and there's regular people who went 4 years, got a business degree, something like that, and then there is my group where it's people who got criminal justice degree. And then above mine is veterans, people who've seen combat, stuff like that. They get put on that higher list, get chosen a little bit more. But it's very simple. I mean, just finding colleges with that degree. I know community colleges have programs that help you get into that academy.
Is it easier to go from a community college and just maybe get some of those gen ed done and then focus on that criminal justice out of 4 year, or is it really,
I mean, it kind of depends. I think it just whatever you're more comfortable with. Like, I was more comfortable with going to that bigger university setting, and if you want to go to a community college, you are more than likely to, and you get a great education out of either. But
would you say that whether it's the programs that a university has to offer or just an actual experience, in a police force with a cop or a detective or someone in that nature, would you say that the people working in those fields, whether it's to educate us or just to show you what it's like, do a good job of getting you excited to work in that kind of a field?
Oh yeah. So when I was really interested in joining, it was very much my uncle. My uncle's a detective in Vice. He got me really interested into it, so that's basically shaped my path to it. So. And
do a lot of people going into this field almost have like a personal, would you say, story, whether it's someone that they looked after, a role model, or just personal experiences that, got them into this?
Oh yeah, I think it's a whole bunch of situations and experiences, and it kind of goes with everybody else.
So whether it's a personal experience that you had or a role model that is leading you into this decision, whether it's going to a university or working at a police station, there's plenty of options for you to get excited about going into your new career. Thanks again for tuning in with us, and we're going to see you next week.
Hello guys, I'm Daisy.
And I'm Emily.
Today we're going to be talking about dates. So let's get to the juicy stuff first. What was your worst date?
The worst date that I ever went on, this was a very long time ago, but we went to a movie and we went to dinner, and at dinner he bought me a really big chocolate milkshake, and I was really excited about it because I love chocolate milkshakes, and as soon as I went to sit down, I poured the whole thing all over me. Yikes. And he did not help me clean it up. I went over to get napkins, I was like blotting myself off, and he just sat there and laughed at me the whole time. So there was not a second date after that.
Oh my god.
But it makes a really good story.
It does make a good story, but that's kind of weird. Like, he wouldn't do anything? Like, you would think that he would at least be like, hey, let me get you the napkins or something.
So what's the best date you ever went on, just for contrast here?
Okay, so my best date, we also went to the movies, but since it was my best and first date, we went to the movies first, then we went to like dinner, and it was at Plaza, so it was at Winstead's, and then we were just talking about everything, and we shared a milkshake, so it was like, that cliche, like young, like 50s kind of, and it was really nice. Like, we were just talking for hours, and then it ended on a good note. There was a second and third date, so it ended well.
So milkshakes can either make or break a first date, is what we've learned.
Yeah. So choose wisely. What flavor was yours?
Chocolate.
Oh, mine was strawberry. Go with strawberry.
Now you know.
Yes. Okay, so since I talked about a first date, what do you think is the best place for like first dates?
The best place for first dates? I would say, so this is something that we talked about. We're going for a dinner and a movie. Mm-hmm. We have figured out that the key is to go to the movie first so that you have something to talk about at dinner. Because most people switch it around. But if you do the movie first, then it won't be as awkward because you can talk about the movie while you're eating, and there won't be a lot of dead space and awkward silences while you're trying to eat.
Especially because, like, it's the first date, so it's like, you at least have that to rely on, and if there's no second date, well, you figure it out. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Have you ever used, like, any dating, like, sites?
I have not used any dating sites. Have you ever? Do you have more experience on this than I do?
Not really. but maybe in the next times we will. Maybe I'll have experience. Maybe I'll have a boyfriend next time. I don't know.
All right, well, we'll let you know in the future how this turns out. So, again, I'm Emily.
I'm Daisy.
So thank you so much for watching.
Bye.
Hi, I'm Austin Belcher,
And I'm Shiona Delioza.
and today we're going to be talking about barbecue.
Again, Barbecue 2.0.
So I know the last time we talked about our favorite dishes and pieces, but for anyone who wasn't with us in the broadcast, what is your favorite style of barbecue?
Well, it has to be Kansas City barbecue. It is the absolute best. Texas can go shove itself.
I would agree.
And how about you?
Oh, yeah, I mean, I'm into Kansas City barbecue as well. This place up in North Kansas City called Hogjaw Fritz makes a slab of ribs that you could really write home about.
Wow, that sounds excellent. So what do you get for sides?
Well, I'm a macaroni man through and through. I really do enjoy macaroni, the way that it feels and looks and tastes. It's quite nice. I'm also a fan of fried apples, if they can be done right.
Fried apples. I've never had that.
You've never had fried cinnamon apples?
No, I did not think apples were a fruit you could just fry.
Yeah, I mean, you can fry anything.
I
You
knew
could
an onion.
Yeah, you could fry a car if you wanted to.
That's amazing. That's probably like an American thing.
I would, yeah. I mean, I feel like America's really just going to be making cars out of barbecue before too long, because it's like, how much longer can we use gas
Go
from the
without
ground?
that. Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to have to find new alternatives, America, and those alternatives are barbecue.
Right. You've managed to fry a turkey whole, so I'm pretty sure you'll figure this out.
Yeah, I mean, if you can prepare a gourmet feast for 20 out of barbecue, I really think you could manufacture a car.
And then just dunk it in oil.
That's how cars work.
Okay.
Anyway, we'll bring it back to the next broadcast. I'm Austin.
And I'm Shiona.
Thank you.
Bye.
Hi, my name is Sam Stevie, and this is...
Johanna Pounds.
And this is our segment of The Talking Roos. And we're going to talk about what not to do in an interview.
As an interviewee, of course.
Yeah, so I wasn't quite certain how we were going to do this because I do a lot of interviews for radio and she does interviews for newspaper, which they're very different. I mean, in radio, it really depends what people say, how they say it, the spacing and things like that. And so for me, the biggest things when you're the interviewee is just to have a nice flow. Actually have passion in what you're talking about, have what you're saying at least somewhat prepared so it sounds like you at least had some sort of knowledge on the topic so that it's easier for me to cut later. But on the writing side, it's different. Can you talk to me a little bit about some of the things that kind of get you angry when you're doing an interview on the writing side?
Right. I mean, for sure. I think the biggest thing for people that I interview is a lot of people have learned not to trust the media now, which I get. There's a lot of fake news out there. But when I'm going to interview someone, especially like a phone call interview, people can tend to get really aggressive. And it's important to remember that I'm just from a community newspaper. I'm not trying to attack you, especially since most of the features that I do are features and they're artist profiles, and there's no reason for me to slander your words. And I think also making sure not to get too personal with your interviewer. Even though, you know, it's a very relaxed environment because we are a local newspaper, I don't want to know things about your children's, like, poop patterns, for example.
So you would agree, you would say that people tend to run on too long and they just go off on these tangents, would you say?
Well, I don't know about if it's about running too long, but like, I actually had someone tell me about their children's bathroom tendencies, and I was like, that's really interesting, but the painting that you won a prize for, can you continue to tell me about that?
Yeah.
I think it's important to remember that even though it is a very relaxed environment, that you do have to stay professional to an extent because it is an interview, and I think that's the people's biggest challenge.
Yeah, and I had an interesting tidbit with that issue one time. And it wasn't really an issue because I thought it was awesome. I was actually interviewing Jason Sudeikis' mom, Kathy Sudeikis.
Okay.
It was right after the whole Notre Dame Cathedral thing because she is a travel agent and she's been there like a dozen times and sends people there all the time. So I just kind of wanted to get her insight about the Notre Dame and how cool it was and how big of an icon it was. So it was really cool though because I asked her at the end, I saved it for the very end, and I go, hey, I think your son's awesome. And then she started talking about her kids and her family. And you know the Midwest goodbye that everybody talks about, how you're like saying goodbye while walking out of the room? That was me, not even kidding. I was like, okay, it's nice to meet you. I'll see you later. Yeah, so stay on topic, give nice, concise answers. Be truthful, obviously. You don't want to lie during an interview. But yeah, that's pretty much all we got. We both have the great opportunity of working in news and interviewing people all the time. So if you're ever in the situation where you're being interviewed, maybe these tips will help you out. Thanks, guys. I'm Sam.
I'm Johanna.
And this has been our segment of The Talking Roos.
Hi, and welcome back to
Key and Lowe's.
Key and Lowe's show. That's exactly who we are, and it's exactly what the show is. So today what we want to talk about is food.
Yes.
Who doesn't love food, right?
I mean,
Right.
obviously.
Obviously. So we want to kind of talk about the best places from what we think food options are for Kansas City. So I'll start. I say something a little healthy, something I don't know. Ruby Jean's Juicery is Black owned. It's off of 30th and Truth. Juice, smoothies, performance shakes, food, anything you name it.
And it's actually really good.
It
like,
is.
You the one who took me there for my first time, and there was like a no crust peanut butter and jelly like something. That was my first thing having there.
So good.
It was actually really good.
Now he acted like he didn't like it, so I assumed he didn't like it, but I guess he liked it. 2 points for me, 0 for you. Got it. Okay.
Boy, how did you get 2? Okay.
So what are some options for you?
So okay, I'm really basic when it comes to food. One of my personal favorites, and this is everywhere, so I guess it's not just in Kansas City, would be Chipotle. I love Chipotle. I can eat it every day, and like I wouldn't get tired of it. I don't really like barbecue. Otherwise, I would say like Gates or something. But
people hate Gates. Why do St. Louis people hate Gates? Can
they
we
hate
tune
everything
into that?
about Kansas City.
True, that is true.
Just
That
find
is true.
reasons. Oh, your
to
streets
hate Kansas
crooked.
City.
Streets crooked. We don't like
Count how
this
many
city.
potholes we have versus St. Louis.
Yeah,
but
like
I do
anything.
think, like you said about Chipotle, Chipotle is good. So since I've gotten braces, like it's really hard to eat Chipotle. You know, it's really, really hard. But I do like Chipotle. He eats it a lot. Another gem, Chick-fil-A.
Oh, and this campus Chick-fil-A
It's fake.
has nothing on like a regular
The real
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A.
And get a shake.
And download the app. I'm a loyal member.
She's advanced.
Advanced.
She's advanced.
So do you like McDonald's?
No, hated it. Throw the whole establishment away. The only thing I would get from McDonald's is a sweet tea and like.
And what else? That chocolate sundae that you brought me too.
And the ice cream when their machine's not down.
We're
Another
sticky
story.
note.
Another story.
We'll sticky note it. Anyway, thanks for tuning in to the Key and Low Show. We'll hope to see you again next week.
Hey guys, welcome back to our show. I'm your host, Yosef.
And I'm Marilyn Ashley.
And today we're talking about pet peeves. So pet peeves, I think everyone has them. I don't know anybody that doesn't have like a big pet peeve of theirs.
Yes.
So I want to hear some of yours.
Okay, well, of course, one of them, well, you're doing one right now.
Oh, am I shaking my leg?
Oh my God, that drives me bonkers.
It's called anxiety. Sorry about it.
Oh my God. So, anywho, that kind of helps calm mine down. I understand anxiety. I feel you on that.
Wow, so understanding.
What about, of course I would be. But back to the pet peeves, parking spots. You know you've been waiting on that spot. You circled around for that spot. That person saw you waiting on that spot.
They saw you.
They saw you.
They saw you. Rude.
Oh my God. And then they go in there on you. That's a pet peeve of mine.
That's what you call lack of manners. So let me go into mine because that kind of goes into like lack of manners.
Okay.
So my number one pet peeve is when I hold the door open for somebody and they just walk right past me.
They don't say thank you.
They don't say thank you.
Oh, my
I'm like,
God.
who raised you? Who encompass your life where you're gonna walk through the door? I put my arm out there. I opened that door for you. I'm so offended by the end of the day. I'm like, and you know what? Nowadays I say you're welcome. I say you're welcome loud. Yeah. Oh, I don't care. I'm ready to fight at that point.
You're ready to fight.
I'm ready to fight. I do not care.
You know, but then we have to sometimes consider that there are some people who they have so much on their mind, so we have to be mindful of that.
Oh, I don't
too.
care. You can have a lot on your mind, but you can still say thank you. I have a lot on my mind. I'm still saying thank you. I still got manners.
So, okay, so that's your expectation.
It's my expectations. My
Okay.
parents raised me that way. I hope my parents can raise everyone that way.
Yeah.
I need my parents to raise everyone up in here.
No, totally. Nope, I get it. That's definitely a rude situation. Another pet peeve of mine is, so I like to rinse my ice off. Like, don't hand me a glass with something in it, with ice in it, if you have not taken time to rinse that off.
We'll get back into that later because I think that's a topic that we need to delve into a little bit more because I feel like there's a lot of you guys out there like that. So we'll catch you guys next time on our show. Once again, I'm Yosef.
And I'm Marilyn Ashley.
And thank you guys so much for watching.
These were our pet peeves.
Pet peeves. Bye, guys.
Hello.
Hello. My name is Ashanti.
And I'm Evan.
And this is today's news. And we're going to talk about a little bit about Easter. First things first, Easter was this past Sunday. How did you spend your time?
I spent my Easter with my family, watching basketball, eating food, and basically like hanging out with my cousins at my cousin's house.
Yeah. For me, at least, usually Easter is a time when you're surrounded by loved ones. It's usually happiness, and it's a day to give thanks to God like that. I don't know if you know this, but this past Easter Sunday, there were bombings in Sri Lanka, which is in India, an island in India. And for me, it really was hurtful to me because, Easter is a sacred day for most people. And I'm sure a lot of people there, they were celebrating Easter as it should be, a sacred day. So, what are your thoughts on that? People taking that away from people, they will no longer remember that day as, oh, this is, a time for love, and now think of it as that.
My opinion of it is that in the biggest terrorist attack since 9/11, it's been terrible to see that all these people have their lives taken away from them at the hands of terrible people. And the deaths have reported to be 350 people dead by the shootings. So it's really high in terms of that. And there's also a chance that it might be higher, but churches where you're supposed to be
safe.
Yep, you're supposed to be safe, loved. You should thank God for being here.
You never expect that, coming to church on Easter Sunday, you're going to lose your life.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think it's so important as Americans and just as, people in general that we care about it because it is in a different place, So I just want to make sure that, our viewers take this with them from this conversation. We are united. Everyone is one. So just as much as that happened to them, it should affect us as much. So, if you hear somebody who has been affected by this, don't be afraid to reach out and, show your compassion because it's crazy and this is the world we're living in, I want to thank you guys for tuning into today's news. I'm your host, Ashanti.
And I'm Evan.
And you guys have a great day.
Hi, I'm Jody.
And I'm Marilyn Ashley.
And we're here with UMKC's Runistas, where we discuss everything fashion from campus to the runway.
Yes.
So today's topic is
going to be finals week, fashion do's and don'ts.
All right. What did we say was number one that you do not want to be seeing here at the school?
We don't want to see your pajamas. Not at all. That's a don't. Please don't.
Say that for Walmart.
For who?
Walmart.
Walmart.
You can wear your pajamas to Walmart.
Yeah, you can wear in Walmart at 3 o'clock in the morning. It's fun. As a matter of fact, that's very entertaining.
That's good.
But not during finals week.
What is your do instead?
So the do instead is we're legit cool with sweatpants. You can do sweatpants. That is an okay thing to do.
Sweatpants are the socially acceptable pajamas.
Yes, exactly.
They're
comfortable.
They're pajamas. You can sleep in them, but you can also wear them out.
Exactly. So we're cool with that. So that is your do for Fashion Week during finals.
What did we say for footwear? No house shoes.
Oh, yeah. Definitely no house shoes. Please don't. And pick up your feet when you walk, please. The sliding your feet back and forth. That is so slouchy. Come on now. We're educated, right? Are we in college?
Got your degree. Got your degree in picking up your feet when you walk.
Yes,
for sure.
Pick up your feet. That's all about progress going forward.
Going forward. It's a metaphor.
Yes, exactly.
No fuzzy wuzzies.
Yep. So that's a don't. Instead, we cool with your slides. You can rock those. We good with them. Rock your slides. You can even do flip-flops. It's starting to warm up. If you want to wear your flip-flops, I'm okay with that. Pedicures, though, right?
Pedicures?
Is a must. If we're going to have our feet out. I'm guilty. Anybody else guilty of like having your feet out and haven't like taken time to care for them?
I just don't because I don't like feet.
Oh.
So I feel like I don't do, like, I don't want people seeing my feet. I don't want to see other people's feet, to be completely honest. But again, I feel like slides are, like, sweats are the socially acceptable pajamas. Slides are the socially acceptable slippers.
All right, since we still on shoes, let's go back to those Uggs. We did have something we wanted to end up with, discussing Uggs, whether they were a do or don't with sweatpants, right?
I think if you put the outfit together, if you like knew I'm going to be bumming it today, but made sure it all matched, I think you're good.
All right. So my thing on Uggs with the sweatpants, it had to be coordinated. So if you had your pink gear going on in your Uggs and it was all coordinated, we good to go.
All right.
Fashion Week.
Fashion Week here with Jody
and Ashley with Roonistas.
Welcome back. Sam Stevie here again. Thank you so much for joining us. I really hope you enjoyed the show. There were a lot of great topics, and these UMKC students really love to talk about the things that gives them drive, things that interest them. So if you learned something, tune in next time and you may learn something else. Thanks again. This has been The Talking Roos, and we brought you the news.